So dumb. So dumb. Oh my god. Poorly written, pointless, stupid plot, stupid characters. Ugh. Hello, my name is Fanaretti. So, in this video, I would like to talk to you about all of the books that I've read in 2020 that I don't intend to ever add to my collection. I'm never gonna buy these books. Some of these books I actually did enjoy reading, but I just feel like they don't belong in my collection. Either because I don't think that I will ever actually try to reread them, or maybe just because I feel like they're not worthy. And just enjoying them once was enough, and if I ever feel like, yeah, I'm not gonna reread them, yeah, I'm sorry. I tried to be positive for 1 second, I'm like, no. And also this video, in a way, is gonna be the worst books I read in 2020, because I'm not gonna be buying any of the worst books that I read. To start on a positive note, I would like to briefly mention the books that I actually enjoyed reading or listening that I do not intend to actually purchase. So we have Radiance. So this book is like a romance book that decided to have a plot at like the last 10% of it, and that just really put me off. If it had remained exclusively romance without any plot at all, because you know how much I hate plot. I just don't take this plot away from me. I don't want plot. What's the point of plot? No. Take it away. So I was enjoying it. It's basically a friendship to lovers kind of romance. It showcases two characters that are slightly different species, and they consider each other atrocious. They are arranged married, and they start forming a very sweet friendship, and that escalates into a romance. It was very pleasant to read, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever read friendship to romance. It was such a nice trope. I would say I almost like it as much as I like enemies to lovers. Then we have the book Room, which also has a movie that I actually very much enjoy, and I prefer from the book, which I actually didn't read for enjoyment purposes. It's narrated from like a very young child's perspective, and the book that I'm working on has a perspective of a 5-year-old, which is the same age as Jack from the book, and I wanted to see what I can achieve with narrating from a 5-year-old's perspective. And that book really helped me with that. It was a good book, well written. I think it would really benefit if it was much shorter. I felt like it became a bit repetitive from the moment they were no longer in the room. I just don't feel like there's a reason for me to have it in my collection. It was nothing that extraordinary, and I do like the movie much better. So if I ever purchase anything, it would be the movie. It's a compliment to the writer, because she is the one that actually wrote the script, so good for her for realizing what is redundant in her own book and eliminating it. Then we have another book that I actually enjoyed, The Hating Game. This is a very well-loved book in the booktube community.
And oh my god, if Noelle ever sees this video, she's gonna hate me forever, and I'm never gonna be her friend, which is gonna be so depressing.
But regardless, I just don't find a reason to have this book. It was nothing that memorable. I don't feel like the characters were characters. Then we have the book Him, which was the first book that I read while I was recovering from my concussion, which meant that I was just at my bed, staring at my ceiling, just letting this story flow through my body and make my summer make sense. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it will be ever easy for me to actually buy silly books like that. I just... yeah, that's my review. So those were the books that I actually enjoyed. Now let's go to some honorable mentions. Some books that I'm not sure yet if I'm not gonna purchase. I do want to actually purchase. Oh my god, this is gonna completely contradict my last statement, but I think I might actually purchase the Royals series, like the trilogy. The best rush ever. And I might actually buy them. Like, I can see myself rereading them. And I might also consider buying Birthday Girl and Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, but not sure if I actually want them in my bookshelves. For me, like a well-written book is a book that has quotes that you remember, but these books are just stories. It's just stories, and to me, stories are just a one-off thing. I don't want them. So now let's go to some controversial opinions. We have A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab is one of the most talented writers I've ever come across in terms of prose. I feel like her prose is brilliant. Like, she is exceptional, especially like the beginning of this book and how she reveals the status of the character and his characteristics. Breathtaking. Like, I have never experienced, I mean, probably I have, but I have never experienced like breathtaking moments just by reading about what color a character's eyes are. breathtaking. But this is a fantasy book and my brain is not very analytical, so when there are fantasy elements in a story, they go like that, completely over my head and like off my body. I don't understand it. It's hard for me to follow, so I don't know what this book was about. I don't remember. Fully don't remember at all. I know the color of his eyes and there is a girl that's like, okay, my favorite trope ever. If you have any recommendations, comment down below. I love when a girl dresses like a guy to get away with anything. Just anything. Give me recommendations, especially if it's a period drama. Having said that, yeah, I don't know anything about this book. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. Something about portals? Doors? I listen to audiobooks on my way to work at 5 a.m. and on my way back from work after a 10-hour shift. Sometimes I fall asleep and I'm not sure how far on I've missed. And with this book, I would fall asleep and just pick up from where I left off. I didn't care. I didn't care. I wanted to DNF it, but I didn't want to at the same time because I had already invested like 4 hours on it. It would just blur to black because I would fall asleep and then just fade back in when I would wake up. I mean, I would close it while I'm sleeping, but I would, like the last minutes before you're 100% asleep, I kept those. Then we have Nick and Charlie, which is basically like a little novella from like the Heartstopper series. I mean, I liked how pop the writing was. I didn't like the plot, I didn't like the conflict, I didn't like it, basically. Then we have the Cruel Prince trilogy. This trilogy I read in August, one after the other, and it was very addicting. It was well written, nice narration, it was nice prose, interesting characters. But you know, when the book is called The Cruel Prince and the prince isn't cruel, I was like, who are you lying? He's like pathetic. So yeah, no point in having it in my collection. If somebody gave them to me for free, I would gladly maintain them in my collection. I would never unhaul them, but I wouldn't pay for it. Then we have The Kiss of Deception. So The Kiss of Deception is a book about a girl and like it has 3 POVs. The princess that ran away from her kingdom because she doesn't want to get into an arranged marriage. Then we have the princess she's meant to marry, and then we have the assassin. We read from their perspectives, but we are not sure which one is which. If I was 13 when reading it, I would probably continue with the series. And then we have One Day in December that I read about when the pandemic started. It was a very interesting story. Like the whole point is that a girl falls in love at first sight by seeing somebody at the bus across from her bus, and from that point onwards she's looking for him, and he ends up becoming her best friend's boyfriend and then fiance. That's the plot, and we follow the characters for about 10 years of their lives. Like the love story starts, it goes negatively, and all of the characters have a bad time for many years, and at the end it's getting fixed. I feel like my life will be stuck at the middle and will never get good again. So it's just a personal thing. I just didn't like how unfortunate some big aspect of their lives were. Okay, now we're getting to the books that I actually hated. These books, oh my god, made me angry. I read the little novella between book 1 and 2 that's called The Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky, and I was trying to read this in order to redeem the first book because the first book was so annoyingly stupid. I've never read about a more stupid and ridiculous protagonist in my life. I hate Monty. I hate him. He's so dumb. What a fucking moron. He just makes every possible bad decision and miscalculation. And this novella, so dumb. So dumb. Oh my god. Then we have Stay Gold. Oh my god, did I hate this book. How pointless, how poorly written, how badly did it represent transgender people. They made them look so annoying and stupid. Ah! Then we have Vicious. Vicious is a book that I completely forgot I read when I was doing my monthly wrap-up, and that says a lot. Poorly written, pointless, stupid plot, stupid characters. Ugh. So, moving on. Another book that I hated. The Cemetery Boys. How poorly written can a book be? I mean, this is not as atrocious as Gold Boy. It's not as bad. Amazing concept. Make this concept a movie. But ended completely differently. I refuse to accept endings like that. I find it lazy. It spoon-fed you exposition. Like, it wasn't even explaining it to a different person. It was explaining it in narration. Like, show don't tell is the concept this writer didn't know about, and that annoys me. I could tell that the book would not end the way that it should. And if I had written that book, it would have made you cry. If only it had actually ended differently. I would have actually found it redeeming. It's just so disappointing. It's disappointing. Then we have The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is a writer duo. I cannot tell how two separate people put their brains together and came up with something so boring. Wow, that was such a boring book. What was the point? There was nothing. There was nothing there. The characters had no chemistry. There was no tension. They're meant to hate each other, but they don't. The conflicts. What? That's not the conflict. That's stupid. We Are Lost and Found. I'm not that mad at it. I mean, the story is a story and it was told in a mediocre way. I liked how it taught me a little bit about the history of the time, because it talks about when age first became a thing and how frightened people were. I don't even remember who the love interest was. And lastly, I need to talk about Sorcery of Thorns. This cover, I find this so stunning. She is gorgeous, and that's a huge issue because in the books it's meant to be like less than mediocre, and like you put this in the cover, I am offended. I am triggered. If she is not pretty, that just makes me sad. So yeah, apart from that, that's not my only issue. Like, there is some plot and there is romance, which was like so boring, so flavorless, no tension, no chemistry, no point. What was the point? There was no juice. It was not badly written, like there was nothing wrong. So these are the 19 books out of the 55 that I read this year that I'm not gonna be buying. I regret reading some of them, but overall, those are the books. And just for like statistic purposes, out of the 55 books that I've read, 19 I don't intend to buy, 24 I've already bought, and 12 of them I actually want to purchase. So maybe that's a statistic you care about. If you don't, I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Why am I laughing? I have been so negative. I feel like I've been such a bitch in this video and I'm sad. I'm sorry. It's a negative video. It's not my fault. I'm talking about things I dislike and I dislike them with a passion. So that should count for something, I hope. Oh, by the way, I never do calls to action. And I think I should, because nobody's subscribing. You could also like follow me on Instagram or Goodreads, but to be honest, no, just don't bother, just subscribe. That's all I care about. Thank you so much. Bye!